There. Feel like your problems are huge. Let's zoom out a bit. Way out. I want you to imagine every single beach on Earth. Think of all the grains of sand on all of them combined. Now, I'm going to tell you something that sounds like a metaphor, but it's a cold, hard fact. There are more stars in the observable universe than all those grains of sand. We're talking somewhere between 10 sextillion and 10 septillion stars. And here, S, where your brain really starts to melt. That S, just the part of the universe we can see. The part that light has had time to reach us from. The observable universe itself is about 93 billion light-years wide, even though it's only 13.8 billion years old. How is that possible? Because space itself is expanding. Galaxies aren't just flying away from each other through space. The fabric of space between them is actively stretching, carrying them along for the ride. This cosmic speed limit of light leads to another mind-bending concept. Looking out into space is literally looking back in time. When you glance at the sun, you're not seeing it as it is right now. You're seeing it as it was 8 minutes ago. Because that's how long its light took to travel to your eyes. When we point our telescopes at distant galaxies, we're seeing them as they were millions, or even billions, of years in the past. It's a cosmic time machine. Some of the spectacular celestial objects we photograph might not even exist anymore in the form we see them. Even more profound, there are regions of the universe so distant that their light will never reach us. Ever. They are forever beyond our horizon, a permanent mystery. And speaking of time, it's not the constant ticking clock you think it is. Einstein showed us that time is relative to. It actually moves at different speeds, depending on how fast you're removing and how strong the gravity is around you. This isn't science fiction. It's a proven, measured reality that affects your everyday life. The GPS satellites orbiting Earth have clocks that tick slightly faster than ours on the ground because they experience weaker gravity. If engineers didn't constantly correct for this tiny difference, your GPS directions would be off by several kilometers every single day. Near a black hole, this effect becomes extreme. Time slows down so dramatically that to someone watching from a safe distance, you would appear to freeze forever at its edge. Now, let's talk about matter, or what you think of as solid stuff. You, me, this desk, this planet, it's all mostly nothing. If you blew up an atom to the size of a football stadium, its nucleus would be just a single marble sitting in the center. The rest is just ... empty space. Electrons whiz around in that vast emptiness, but the atom itself is almost entirely void. So, when you touch something, you're not really touching it. The atoms aren't making contact with its atoms. Instead, the electromagnetic fields of your atoms are repelling the fields of the other object. Solidity is just an illusion created by forces. It gets even weirder at the quantum level, where particles can exist in multiple places or states at once until we measure them. Reality, it seems, waits for us to look before it makes up its mind. Sir, what about those famous cosmic objects, black holes? They aren't just cosmic vacuum cleaners sucking everything up. Most of the time, they just sit there obeying the laws of gravity, like any other massive object. But, at their core, they are the most extreme things in the universe. At the center of almost every large galaxy, including our own Milky Way, there's a supermassive black hole. Ours is called Sagittarius A star, and it packs the mass of 4 million suns. A black hole warps space so intensely that once you cross its point of no return, the event horizon, the future itself points inward. Escape becomes impossible. Nods, because you lack a powerful engine, but because all possible paths through space-time lead to the center. Maybe the most humbling fact of all is that everything we've just talked about, the stars, Galaxies, planets, and people makes up only about 5% of the universe. That's it. About 27% is something called dark matter. We can't see it, but we know it's there because its gravity holds galaxies together and keeps them from flying apart. The remaining 68% is even more mysterious: dark energy. This is a strange, repulsive force that's causing the expansion of the universe to speed up. We know these two things dominate the cosmos, but we have almost no idea what they actually are. The universe is mostly made of stuff we can't see and don't understand. So, where do you fit into this grand, bizarre picture? Well, here's a beautiful thought. The first elements, hydrogen and helium, were formed in the Big Bang. But nearly every other element that makes you ether, carbon in your cells, the oxygen you breathe, thion, in your blood was forged in the heart of a star. These stars lived for billions of years, then died in spectacular supernova explosions, scattering those newly created elements across the galaxy. Those elements eventually came together to form new stars, new planets, and eventually, life. You are not just poetically made of stardust, you are literally made of recycled. The universe, for all its vast, indifferent, and unknowable strangeness, produced something capable of looking back and wondering about it all. And that's pretty amazing. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey through the cosmos, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.